RCTP, Beginner to 512, Level 2, 510A to 510C, Introduction. At the 510A to 510C level, in order to maintain your climbing level, you'll need to be climbing once a week, and in order to get better, you'll have to start climbing twice a week. As a warm-up, try to boulder about 1 to 3 boulder problems in the V0 to V1 range. Cross-training, still stick with yoga. Now we're looking at power flow and as well as core training. And the best ways to improve are to start practicing decline routes, begin lead climbing, and start climbing outdoors. Warm-up, boulder 3 problems in the V0 to V1 range. Bouldering is a great way to warm up. So here we're going to watch Renee do a bouldering of a V0 problem. Now remember, this is going to be about the hardest part of a 5.9 to a 5.10A route problem. So if you're struggling on making it through the hardest part of a climb, it's a great thing to do is just to boulder more. And so doing a boulder warm-up helps you to just get ready for some of those positions that you might get into on a route. Here is the outline of the stretches that we're looking at this level: assisted leg and twist, figure 4, gentle back stretch, pigeon. Assisted leg and twist. To perform this stretch, you want to be lying down on your back, and you want to grab a block and put it just underneath the lower part of your back, and then start to lie down. What I'll do is I'll grab up one of my knees and I'll bring it towards my chest, and then I'll hold this position for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. After that, I'm going to grab a rope or a strap, and I'm going to put this around my foot. Now, if I push my toes up towards the ceiling, that makes this easier. If I pull my feet or my toes in towards my body, that will make it harder. Again, you can hold this for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. Once that's done, I'm going to do the other side in the same way. Then I'm going to remove the block from my back, and then I'm going to put my feet a little bit bent and wide, and I'm going to twist them and just rotate it. This is really good because it stretches the outside portion of your hip, and just hold one side for about like 1 minute and then flip to the other side and do the other side. And if you want, you can also add in a head twist. Figure 4. So for this stretch, we again begin by lying down on our mat, and I'm going to take one of my foot and cross it over top of my knee. And then I'm going to grab underneath my hamstring and pull this in towards my chest, and then once I get that, I can relax and put my head down on the mat. And hold this position for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. Gentle back stretch. So to do this stretch, I'm going to put my feet together. I'm going to be sitting down on the mat and put my feet together into a diamond position. I don't want to actually have my feet too close to my body here. I want to actually have them a little bit further away, and so it's in a nice diamond position. I'm going to put my palms up like this. I'm going to curl in. I'm going to make my arms straight and just lean back and slowly feel this. I might also start to push back my belly button, and you'll feel a gentle back stretch. Pigeon. Here is a pigeon stretch to begin. I put my hands on the mat like this. I raise up one of my legs just to slightly open up my hip, and then I put my foot across the mat like that, and I lean forward. And again, you can hold this for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. If you want to make it harder, you can move your foot a little bit higher up on the mat and then lean forward again. Cross training. We still stick with yoga as a wonderful cross training exercise. We previously did yin yoga, and yin yoga helps you to get on top of holds, and power flow yoga now helps you to get off those holds once you're on them. So that's why I suggest doing power flow yoga at this stage of rock climbing. If you're having difficulties climbing decline routes, more than likely you need to work on your ab and core strength. So start to work out some ab exercises. And if you're still struggling, you might also need to work on your dip strength. So a great way to do this are chair dips. Terminology. Commit. Giving it 100% and you'll make the move. Giving it 98% and you'll fall. So you need to have the attitude, all right, screw it, I'm just totally going for it no matter what happens. The main reason why you might not be committing is that you still kind of want to keep a little bit of a safety net, so you're kind of still holding on just ever so gently onto the previous holds, and that's what's holding you back. You need to just like fully go for it. This is a great video to see Brian go through the mental, determination of deciding that he has to commit to a move. So what this move is here is that he has to jump to the next pink hold, and he kind of first like moves around a little bit. He's like, okay, I'm going to try to get into a better position. Maybe I can do this statically. And then he kind of sticks his hand out and is like, can I reach this hold? And in noticing that he can't really reach the hold, he does a sigh, and then he determines that he has to commit to the move. So here's the reach, here's the sigh, and then he goes for it. Welcome to climbing at the 510 range. The best way to improve at this range is to practice decline routes or overhanging routes. You probably haven't really climbed these before, and you might have a 510A that actually is like a beautiful decline route. Just get on it. The next way is that once you make your way to the 510B sea level is to begin lead climbing. Now, once you start lead climbing, you'll probably drop down to like leading a 5.6 to a 5.7, but that's okay. You got to start somewhere. And then the next part is to climb outdoors, and I really suggest that the first time you do this, to go with somebody who's an experienced outdoor climber. The reason why I say that you want to start to climb outdoors with another person who's an experienced outdoor climbers is that sometimes you get outdoors and it can be a little daunting, and you can also put yourself in a safety risk situation where you don't really know what to do. I know that my first time outdoors, we kind of totally just went out on a limb. But luckily for us, we actually ran into a group that was from our home gym, and they helped us out and literally showed us the ropes. And I'm so happy for that, because if not, we might have been severely injured when we went out. So here is a picture of my cousin, and I set up a top rope for her outside. So this is a great way. This was her first outdoor route ever, and it was a great way just to expose her to outdoor climbing. The other thing you might not think about is sometimes reading guidebooks, you get lost and you don't really know where you're going. And for instance, here's one where I'm like, this is a stream. Am I supposed to cross it, or do we follow a path around it, or do we follow it somewhere else? Because there's kind of two paths around here. And so you're going to be a little bit confused of where to go when you're first starting out. Here's a picture of a guidebook if you've never seen it. So one is from Red Rocks and the other one is from the Bow Valley. And if you look at it, this one for Echo Canyon in the Bow Valley says that it's a 70-minute approach. And that was a little different between a meter and a minute. But if you notice it, it says, from the Alpine Club of Canada, hike for 35 minutes to the Sign Fork. Like, the first 35 minutes, you're just supposed to figure out where you're supposed to go. If you're curious, I have little tabs marked because those are my projects. Those are routes that I want to work on outdoors and send next season. So when you approach an outdoor crag, you might get lucky and there might be other people there, and they might kind of help you with, where to go, what the routes are, and how to set up some things. Sometimes you're really lucky. Here is a climb in Kentucky. They actually have a marker on the route, this little dog tag that says this is what the route is called and this is the grade of the route. Other times you'll go to some places, so this is in Skaha, and there's nothing. You just see a rock face. So you kind of look up at it and you're like, yeah, that kind of looks like what it sort of seems in the book, so let's climb this, and hopefully it is the right climb. A suggested schedule at this level of rock climbing is to climb once on a weekday and once on a weekend. And then you can kind of fit in all the rest of your exercises around that.